The special human relationship with glass has enjoyed an unbroken history for millennia. Ever since our earliest ancestors figured out how to manipulate objects, enabling them to live and work better, human progress has depended on our relationship with tools and the various materials that make them. Glass is one of the most versatile and useful materials to be forged by nature. And improved by human ingenuity, we've used glass to hunt, cook, construct buildings, beautify our bodies, homes, correct vision, and whatnot.
Definition of glass. According to glass science, it is defined as an amorphous solid completely lacking in long-range, periodic atomic structure and exhibiting a region of glass transformation behavior.
Glass is an inorganic solid material that is usually clear or translucent with different colors. It is hard, brittle, and stands up to the effects of wind, rain, or sun. Glass has been used for various kinds of bottles and utensils, mirrors, windows, and more. It is thought to have been first created around 3000 BC, during the Bronze Age. Egyptian glass beads date back to about 2500 BC. No one knows exactly when or where glass was first made. Glass appears to have been produced as far back as the 2nd millennium BC by the Egyptians and perhaps the Phoenicians. Yet, evidently, it originated in Mesopotamia, where pieces of well-made glass have been found, believed to date from the 3rd millennium BC. Glass was a lot less common back then than it is today. It was very precious, and in the Bible, glass has been compared to gold. The art of glass making eventually reached Egypt. The Egyptians used a method called core forming. A shaped core was made of clay and dung. Then molten glass was wrapped around it and shaped by rolling it on a smooth surface. It was very much later, around the end of the 1st century BC, that a new method, glass blowing, would revolutionize glass production. This art was probably discovered along the eastern Mediterranean coast, probably in Syria. By blowing through a hollow tube, the experienced glass blower can quickly produce intricate and symmetrical shapes out of the molten glass at the end of his tube. Alternatively, he can blow the molten glass into a mold. The glass blowing innovation, along with the backing of the powerful Roman Empire, made glass products more accessible to the common people. As the size of the Roman Empire increased, the art of the glass making spread to many countries.
Glass making in Europe. After the decline of the Roman Empire in the 4th and 5th centuries AD, the craft of glass making waned in Europe. The industry continued to thrive in Iran, Iraq, and Egypt. In Europe, there was a limited revival of glass making in the early 12th century, with the development of stained glass windows for cathedrals and monasteries. A flourishing glass industry did not develop in Europe until the end of the 13th century. By the 15th century, Venice had become the major producer of glassware in Europe. Glass jars and bottles. On August 2, 1904, a patent for a glass shaping machine was granted to Michael Owen. The immense production of bottles, jars, and other containers owes its inception to this invention.
The raw materials for making glass consist mainly of silica. To melt the sand to make glass, the furnace has to reach a temperature of approximately 3,600 Fahrenheit. Because of the presence of iron in sand, glass with a greenish color mostly results, so only sand of exceptional purity. White sand is salt. In Ireland, this white sand is mainly sourced in the Wicklow Mountains. In 1676, an Englishman named George Ravenscroft invented that by adding lead oxide to the glass composition, a far more brilliant, sparkling glass could be produced than had ever been made before. Lead crystal has now been born. Besides the highly refractive appearance of lead crystal, this newly discovered glass was also much softer than regular glass, due to the properties of lead. This new softness made it easier to cut. The maximum lead content is 33%. However, 33% lead crystal requires a lot of skill in forming a shape at the blowing stage. So, lesser percentage lead content is often used. Although the same sparkle is not achieved, Ireland, though, they have maintained a reputation worldwide for its skilled blowing of 33% lead crystal.
Sheet glass. On March 25, 1902, Irving W. Colburn patented the sheet glass drawing machine, making the mass production of glass for windows possible. A window on the future of glass. About 75% of the injuries incurred at the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing were caused by flying glass. Glass manufacturers are united in their efforts to research and blast test advanced heat-hardened and chemically laminated glass. In Japan, engineers are hard at work on a personal digital assistant that will be a small sheet of glass you can hold in your hand. Optical fiber. An optical fiber is a thin, flexible, transparent fiber that acts as a waveguide or light pipe to transmit light between the two ends of the fiber, which is made of glass. About 64% of the people use glass for vision correction. Glass is used to view the smallest living cell to the farthest object in space. As with our ancestors, glass continues to benefit the quality of human life.